Hi, welcome to part 2 of We Watched the Game Awards for Far Too Long. I'm Chris, making this fan. With me, I of course again have Steven Smovies, Stefan Games Enlisted, and David the Lurker. We're here to talk about Sonic Frontiers, the game that never was until it was. For some quick facts about the game, in case you haven't gleaned the information from all 27 articles that had different information, it is directed by Morio Kishimoto, who directed Colors, Sonic Lost World, and Sonic Forces. The main story is being penned by Ian Flynn. I guess that's actually everything we kind of know, isn't it? Oh.
And also the producer.
Oh, and also the producer, Sachiko Kawamura, who created Chow, helped redesign Sonic for Unleashed, art director of the last few mainline Sonic games. And I think that is everything we kind of know officially. We'll probably talk about the leaks, so if you're looking to be unspoiled on Sonic Frontiers and the potential, thank you for coming by. Well, how are we feeling about the game?
There are other things.
There are other games
we haven't touched on, like there's the Starfall Islands.
Polygon took that out
exploring
of their article. Sorry, yes, please keep going.
Oh, they took that. So does that count as a spoiler since they removed it from their article?
That's a good question.
The name is on the website.
Right, the name is on the web.
Yeah,
what was removed from the
true.
article was the plot synopsis. That's the word.
Oh.
Okay, so in the Polygon article it said, here, this is apparently classified information. In Sonic Frontiers, Sonic's longtime nemesis, Dr. Eggman, discovers an ancient technology on the Starfall Islands and installs his AI program, Sage, to hack in and take over. But there is more to this technology than he realizes, and unintended consequences immediately come to bear. Sonic must race against time to discover the truth, save his friends, and maybe even save himself at the same time.
So you're telling me that Eggman found an old thing and tried to use it, but it went out of control.
What?
So
I don't know if I can believe this. I think Polygon made this up, and that's why they took it out. That's a little unrealistic, I think. I mean, Sage? Johnny cancels that every year. Oh wait, that's the hacking contest. Never mind. No. I don't know the Sonic lore anymore.
That's sick. That's sick.
So, yeah, Sonic Frontiers. We saw the trailer. It's probably looping in this video, because this one won't get us a copyright claim. It looks nice visually.
Yeah. Sonic
looks good.
I guess
it looks cool.
Sega sat down. Here, I'm going to repeat a joke I saw. Sega sat down and hired that man.
They sure goddamn did.
This looks like a mid to late PS4 game. I'm hoping that the graphics look better on the next consoles. But other than that, I feel really bad for what it's going to look like for the Switch people. That's like my main concern for this whole game, is that they're developing a game for both the PS5, Xbox Series and the Switch at the same time. It's like that's
5 versions. Technically 6, including the PC version.
The PC, God.
That alone, yeah.
I hope this game works when it comes out.
Breakdown's probably going to be 60 FPS on the current gen, 30 on PS4, Xbox One, and then Switch gets like a 540p pray your Switch doesn't catch on fire version.
I think that's why they should have just made the Dreamcast too. Yeah.
That would help. Developing for one piece of hardware, for sure. But
right.
Yeah, it's visual fidelity I'm not used to from Sonic. It looks like, it's not like a mind-blowing, like, oh my god, this is next gen kind of game, but even if it looks very un-Sonic-y, it looks very nice. I think it's very pleasing to look at.
Yeah. If you didn't have Sonic in this trailer, I would look at this and I would have never guessed it was a Sonic game.
You would look at it and probably not care.
I'd say, oh, is this Breath of the Wild 2? I'm just gonna, everybody's gonna be comparing this to Breath of the Wild, but it's true.
It's very unavoidable, yeah. There's really no way around it.
It's unavoidable to there's no way for us to not talk about it.
Yeah, they're gonna, because I guess that's what it is. It says here that Sonic Frontiers is a huge leap forward for the franchise, delivering an evolved gameplay experience that can be enjoyed by longtime Sonic fans and action-adventure enthusiasts alike. That's Takashi Iizuka. He said that.
Sonic Team USA creative officer.
It's interesting this article calls them Sonic Team USA. I thought they had a different name. I guess not. I guess it's just Sonic Team USA.
Yeah,
what does that even...
yeah. Obviously, Breath of the Wild is the most clear influence, probably. But what the other thing that I thought of that nobody else I've seen mention, that because they probably don't want to mention, is that this looks like what Boom was trying to do, except on a budget, like on an actual budget, where it's like you have these big open worlds that you can explore. It has like a lot of that like kind of Aztec, like foresty environments.
Well,
but it's like, yeah, obviously on a much bigger scale and looking a lot better and nicer.
Right. I mean, even just the shots panning through and looking at the environments looks like the those early conceptual trailers for Sonic Boom that were eventually released after it all fell apart, where it's like, oh, we're just panning through landscape. Look at how pretty it is.
Look at these ruins. That's weird. Yeah.
Right. I will say, because I think I want to start with something positive. I'm excited at the prospect of a Sonic game that is, one, taking place on an island, and two, seems to be involving ancient ruins. Like, that's a very Sonic thing that we haven't seen in, I feel like, a while, Sonic Forces.
2008?
Yeah, I guess Unleashed was the last time that we really dealt with any sort of ruins. And so that's neat. Like, I like that idea, and just the idea of going to an island as well. Even Unleashed, you're not going to islands. Islands don't really factor much. I guess Prison Island is an island, and I know Angel Island was an adventure, but I mean just like random islands Sonic goes to.
First three Sonic games were on islands.
Yeah.
Well, except for CD, I guess, would be the first three. Minus that one.
Right. I just
and I guess the Lost Hex, it could be it's basically an island. It's like it's a quote unquote planet, but it's like no, it's an island in the sky. It is another floating island.
So I guess just to get Breath of the Wild talk out of the way, it is weird that Sonic has this weird voice, kind of like how he has this lady talking to him that seems to not be present but is somewhere else. And also you have all that pink glow around him. It reminds me a lot of Ganon's Malice from Breath of the Wild. So it's a little on the nose, but whatever. You have
a weird technological giant Jaeger thing that shows up, and you have like those weird kind of like purple weird like cyberpunk things that are chasing him, and which is like kind of again like Breath of the Wild has those weird machinery like bug creatures that are like going around that you got to deal with. So it's like
bugs.
Yeah, like just a lot of weird stuff.
Do you want to hop on to Ian Flynn? Are we excited about that?
Are we
excited
hopping
about
on
that?
him?
Yeah.
Like hop on pop, but it's Ian?
Yeah.
Okay.
One singular man can make you like any cynicism can be at least partially saved by just hearing his name, is being like, oh, okay, so the dialogue's actually like, no matter what the story, because we don't know exactly how much involvement he's going to have in the final story compared to like the Japanese writers, but at the very least we know the dialogue's going to sound good. Like that we can be for sure about.
Right. There is no Pontac, there is no Graf, unless it's Pontac and Flynn now. So
be a weird combo. Well, what if they come in to punch up the script?
I feel like if that was it, that'd be kind of fine, because like Pontac and Graf are good. They're good funny guys. So it's like if it's like Ian's doing most hard work and then Pontac and Graf kind of like punch up with some jokes, it'd be like, yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, but
yeah, I doubt that's gonna be. I feel like that relationship's kind of been like, okay, yeah, we're going our separate ways now. We've done that for so long. We don't need them. We got this guy that we probably should have used 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially since a lot of decisions seem to be being made a little more, maybe, an American now. I wouldn't be surprised even if they push that a bit when marketing out to fans. They'll probably have Ian in for an interview at some point to talk about the story on one of their weird live streams or something, so that's cool. That's overdue. I'm curious how much control he'll have, or if he'll be relegated to a Pontac Graf thing, where he is just a punch-up guy, but I'd like to think they're having him a little more involved, maybe, than we're used to from the American side.
It's curious. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I guess we won't really know until, like, the credits roll and we see the order of names and somebody interviews Ian and he goes, yeah, no, I came up with all of this. It's all mine. I said Sonic should have a voice in his head, and they said, sure, go ahead. You know, I am curious, yeah, definitely to see how much control over the story he has. And I mean, if he's writing it, I wonder if he'll try to connect it to anything that's been happening in the IDW books, or if he'll like make that very clear delineation that he's writing a game story, but he's not going to link it to the comics or whatever. I mean, I guess it's like sort of up to Sega, but.
I feel like because Ian's someone who like he knows like he's someone who like he can work easily in his lane and knows the do's and don'ts of working in certain things. So I have a feeling he'd be like, yeah, he's probably not going to purposefully connect it to IDW. But what I do think is that we'll probably get more actual game references, because that is something that'd be like, oh, if I can like call back to Adventure or Adventure 2 or anything else, like if like the situation like allows it, because it's the situation / Sega allows it, because I feel like he'd be someone who'd be more willing to have those references, whereas like compared to Pontac and Graf, who are just kind of like just the joke punch ups rather than being like, oh, here's a thing like what like they aren't gonna be like, oh, this is like what happened like the last time in this other adventure.
Even if it's just like repeating dialogue that's been said before, I expect some of that. Because we don't know obviously what's going on with this game's story, but it does seem to be a very isolated, like, I'm guessing it's just Sonic is with Weird Voice on Island, there's Eggman, and then maybe whatever this big thing is speaks, but I don't think there's going to be much room for like a story per se. It seems very much like a game where you'll play through and beat the bad guy. I'd love to be wrong on that, but it just seems very
the plot's not
void-y.
The plot synopsis also says that Sonic has to rescue his friends, so it seems like
right.
they're going to be in the game, but it's like they're captured by whatever that thing Eggman unleashes, and Sonic has to go rescue all of them. So it's like it's like Sonic's all by himself for a lot of it, but it's like he slowly runs into everybody else.
That's the thing we should mention. There was a tweet from a Japanese verified news account, I think, that mentioned that the voice was Amy. So maybe they're trapped and able to communicate with Sonic through things that may have been posted on 4chan quite a while back.
That's what I was about to bring up, is that if some of these rumors are true, then perhaps all of them are, since, this is all, it's all starting to stick. Yeah.
So in theory, if we listen to those 4chan posts and think about it there's all this, like even back then they mentioned like cyberspace levels, right? So maybe Eggman's trapped them in the techno realm or something, and this ghost girl lets Sonic tap into the techno realm, and then they're speaking to him that way or something. I would expect like a lot of in-level like radio chatter, kind of like what Forces did, I guess, but talking to Sonic. I don't know. Weird.
There is also the rumor, like in those like 4chan posts about how supposedly the Chaos Emeralds will have a more prominent role in the story, in that they'll each get kind of their own like like every Chaos Emerald will have its own kind of like special either power or special focus that they kind of like lean into. So it's like, the Chaos Emeralds actually get to do something other than just be shiny crystals.
Remember when Ian hinted about knowing the origins of the Chaos Emerald some while back?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh wait, what if you don't think he went, hey, Sonic Team, let me write the origin and come up with something? Because
I think he's more saying, hey, there's more of this is going to be a thing that maybe comes across, or maybe he knows it now. If they're putting more prominence on it with this game, and he stepped back from the comic to write on this game, perhaps,
Oh,
you know.
right. I guess he hasn't been working on the
okay,
comic
yeah.
as much, has he?
Yeah, that does make, because there was that weird thing where it's like, he'd been off and on writing the comic, like, where the Evan would take over, he'd write like a mini-series, but then Evan still kept writing, so I was like, that's kind of weird why he's not, because it's like, he's not writing anything else, but if he's been writing the game, that makes perfect sense now, why he's been off and on the comic.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if even just a weird Sega of Japan thing, they're like, keep him away from the comic a little bit more, because we're weird with the comic. I don't know, fuck you.
Well, I think it's also just a work thing of like, he doesn't have time to also work on the comic at the same time as writing the script. So it's like, I'm going to take off like for a few months to only focus on the game script, and then once like most of it's done, I can just juggle the comic and then doing rewrites on the game.
He does write a lot.
But it only takes like 10 minutes to write a Sonic game, right?
My hope would be he's been busy with a lot of like lore establishing stuff. Like, it'd be cool to have like a new, well, I guess we wouldn't get to ever see it, like a new series Bible that just finally puts some things in a stone again, now that they have someone involved who, like, as far as we know, cares about it. But
a series Bible, just like the one that's just released.
That didn't happen. I wish that happened, but that didn't happen. David, your name's in that book. Why didn't it happen?
Oh, what? Wait, why didn't what happen? My name's in the book? Oh, right. You see all the lore that was in there? I accidentally cut out. And that's why my name's in there, because I removed. There was a whole section that showed the actual timeline, and I went, hey, what if you remove that? And so they did. And then there was a whole section that like these are the origins of Chaos Emeralds, and I said I don't like that, and they went, okay, we'll take it out, and I was like, good. And then there was like a family tree that showed all the echidnas, and I don't think
okay.
Ken
I
Penders
was
will
going to
like
say
this.
we have to clarify this is a joke, but now that we're in Pender's territory,
Right, no, yes, no,
please don't sue anyone or us. Thank you.
right.
So Frontiers is finally the official title. We originally were thinking it was Rangers was the working title, and then we saw they purchased the domain for Frontiers, and then look, there it is. Starfall Islands. Do you think each island will maybe be a quote unquote like level?
Oh, perhaps. Let's see. We know there's a few different sections, a few different areas. I mean, it is islands plural, and presumably things get unlocked. So maybe Sonic will run on water between areas, and he'll look fancy doing it.
Yeah.
What I was thinking of an idea, it's like it kind of it kind of looks like what can maybe be a similar thing to what like Bowser's Fury did. Is like every island is kind of like its own like level, and it's like you have like the one island, and it feels like a fully functioned level, and like you can like run across the water to the next island, and then now that's like another whole like level.
Well, if we're going to rip off Breath of the Wild, we may as well rip off Bowser's Fury while we're at it.
Yeah.
My thought was
the Mario version of Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
I don't know how much they're going to lean into the cyberspace levels, but it could also very well be just like a portal opens up, he jumps in it, jumps out somewhere else. But at that point, I don't know how far away these things are and why the Starfall Island is the only named thing. So it's probably not that. Yeah. I'm so curious about the cyberspace. I can't stop thinking about it.
Right.
I think if we're just to believe what the leaks say, like, these Starfall Islands, they could just be the overworld. And then when we go activate these towers, or maybe when we fight these robots, we get transported somewhere, and then we do our Generations type levels. Or I guess maybe I should say Unleashed type levels.
Maybe we should say Forces type levels. Maybe that should be our expectation for the time being.
Yeah.
Short, blocky, easy.
I'm going with Forces here, yeah.
The Mach speed sections in 06 type levels.
Ugh.
David. I missed until you guys just mentioned it. I didn't know Starfall Islands was plural. That makes more sense. Okay, yeah. For some reason I was thinking it was just a island or an island. I was like, Right.
I like islands. Like I said, Sonic works well in an island setting. It looks Man, I wonder how much we're. There's definitely places that they haven't shown off yet. We know there is.
Deserts?
Yeah.
We didn't see any.
Right, because they said there's different. And then there's. What's on the website? I can't. I had it open and now it's gone.
Website mentions some biomes that we haven't seen yet in the trailer, so I'm sure they haven't shown us like the majority of things.
We are still a year
Right.
off.
There's gonna be way more.
Right, we are a year off. We haven't seen any gameplay yet.
This is true.
Like, we have a trailer, it's in-game footage, but we don't see Sonic running game anywhere. That seems like a problem.
People have also
Don't worry about
pointed
it.
out it's the Forces
Oh,
model
it's fine,
and the
yeah.
Forces idle pose specifically, so I'd say maybe they're still a little far off from showing gameplay.
Oh, right, because you get the shot of Sonic looking over. He's doing the Breath of the Look. Look at the place.
The breath of the luck.
No, it's unavoidable. You can't talk about this game without going, oh, it looks like Breath of the Wild.
I mean, even they even did that in the Big the Cat fan game, A Big's Big World.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other
Pokemon
one
did it
that I
with
didn't
its
make.
Breath of the Wild looking game coming out soon. Yeah.
Right, man.
Yeah, because the only ones that seem like they are gameplay are like those shots of just the camera going over the environment, and then like everything else with Sonic, like especially that's like it's the obvious Marza CG animation.
Right. So, because we have the shots of the landscape, but the landscapes don't really give a sense of what any like level world
Yes.
design would be. Like there isn't. They didn't even show a loop, did they?
I think
No.
maybe somewhere
I don't-
maybe.
Nope.
There was like a big like twisty tower in like one of those shots.
Yeah, but that's not a loop.
And we
That's
can
just
see
a
the
tall
end
tower.
of a Unleashed era onward grind rail somewhere.
Yeah,
But to really get into it, yeah, that's what I've like noticed the most watching this back to back is like none of this looks designed around Sonic or his like what we would think of as his moveset, right? It literally just looks like a world, right? There's nothing that particularly suits itself to Sonic. So I'm not sure what to make of that. There's no springs, there's no rings, there's no dash pads. Someone mentioned in a server I was in after I pointed that out that an early Forces trailer didn't have anything like that either. All of those assets were removed.
but maybe they should, because it's a Sonic game.
What it's made me wonder, and I posted about this in our little channel before we started, but I kind of wonder if, like, we have these little temple statue things, right? And one of them has a little orb and it's lit up at some point. And one of the leaks did mention you need to find orbs and put them into these things. And I kind of wonder if, well, A, that's probably the entrance to cyberspace levels, just getting that. But B, I wonder if there's some way to interact with things and bring the cyberspace world kind of into the real world. And maybe that's how you get your Sonic-y elements. Like, you got to go uncover the thing, slot it into the thing, and then your level appears there sometimes too. Like, it's very weird. I don't know how else to explain what they have here, because even if rings and dash pads and stuff come in, it doesn't look designed for Sonic. But I don't know if they'd also just have things phase in and float in the world over this world. But I don't, you know what I mean? It's really weird.
I think like the best way to frame this is that this is just a really, 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 really big hub world.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be other levels to play as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, like all the other hub worlds we've played in. Oh no, now I'm thinking about 06, and that had a really big empty thing with nothing to do.
Yes.
As much as I love Adventure 1, those hub worlds weren't really designed for Sonic's movement either.
No, they weren't.
They just exist.
You're,
you know,
you're not even allowed to run in the hub worlds in Unleashed. Like, you're forced to walk.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Then you get to those weird in-betweeners where you kind of can, but kind of
Yes,
can't.
Yeah, so it pretty much depends on not only what can you do in the levels, but also how Sonic controls. Like, is this going to be like closer to an adventure style Sonic where he's fast, but like he doesn't have the boost, or is this he's gonna be the boost again, and that's how he like runs around everything really fast?
He has to still have his boost if we have these giant open worlds. Like,
We have the cyberspace boost now,
Oh,
Yeah.
the cyber boost.
but he does do that in CG again. So I kind of think maybe that's the boost stand-in this time.
Oh, well, maybe in the game, whenever you're about to boost, it just cuts to a CG cutscene. And then you end up where you need to go later.
Oh man. So no
They
boost?
just remove all the gameplay. It's just a series of CG. It's like a Philips CDI game, I think, is what we're getting.
Well, they could do that, I guess.
I don't know. See, they really should have shown, like, any gameplay at all, like a second of it. This is the second trailer, right? The first trailer was a CG, it was teaser. Forces, the first trailer was CG, but I think the second trailer, there was a little of Sonic running in a place, like that was clearly in a game, right?
I would say technically the first one was just an announcement trailer, and this is the first teaser trailer. So we haven't even gotten our first real trailer yet.
This one calls it the announced trailer, you see. Very
Right.
This
But,
one's the announced trailer. What was the other one? Oh no, I was about to say what was the other one, but then I think you mentioned that they never even uploaded that original one as a trailer.
Yeah.
No, they
on
did.
YouTube.
No, they didn't.
That was no, I thought I saw it on YouTube.
Social media never acknowledged Sonic Origins or other game by name really until today. You could only find it at the end of the Sonic Central and through like gaming sites re-uploading that original trailer.
Oh,
So,
man,
Yep.
but like,
but to circle back and then let Steven speak, the second thing they showed for Forces was Sunset Heights. That was the thing they showed at probably South by Southwest maybe, and they gave you 40
Okay.
seconds of Sonic in that level. Steven, hi. Sorry.
what do we know about the production of this game? Like, do we know when it started?
Hmm.
Do we know anything about the history of this game?
Interesting question. What we can probably extrapolate from the fact that they were been playing testing this since I think sometime in 2019 is that they've probably at least had an open world since 2018 to mess around with, or open zone as they want to call it, which would mean at least 4 years hopefully of active development if this is coming out in a year.
go on. I'm
Which is
sorry.
why we're just now seeing art assets, because when you're making a game, first you figure out your engine, you figure out how your character feels and moves, then you block everything out, like all your levels out, and you do your art at the very end, because it's like, why would you create assets for something that aren't even going to get used unless you know the blocking works, the character works, that we know we're going to have this move set, etc. So the art comes last, so that makes sense why we haven't seen gameplay footage yet, because if we saw gameplay footage, it would be empty white worlds filled with blocks.
Generations
You know.
2.
Yeah, I want that.
Yeah,
But what about the areas where we do see, like, they have some graphics?
they do.
So wouldn't that mean that maybe there's some graphics that exist for a level that's not just white blocks?
I don't know. I'm not working on the game.
Oh, well, why aren't you working on the game?
I'm pretty sure
sorry.
one of the playtesters who did mention cyberspace levels, I think that was dated to around January 2020 for sure. So
Oh jeez.
yeah, they've been. I don't know if Sonic games have particularly or like ever been play tested that early. We've just never heard about it, maybe. But it is interesting that this one time we've heard about it and it has been that
But
far.
If
in the past.
it's been play tested since January 2020 and now we're in December 2021, that's like almost 2 full years of play testing. I feel
But
like
they have. Didn't they also make comments that were like, this doesn't look good, it doesn't feel good, I don't like it? Like, they were not saying good things about it, so it was probably a very early build, and they probably don't want to show that in a trailer.
well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want them to show like, oh, this is what it looked like in January of 2020. But it just feels weird that this is the second trailer and they're still not showing us how it's supposed to play. Not even running around in the open world. Like, you don't even see a shot of Sonic running in the places that we're just panning through. Like, they could
still
just
also-
show Sonic run.
We still also have a whole year until the game's gonna actually come out, so.
But they could have showed him at least run. Like, he doesn't have to go through the level. It can just be, here's the field, show him run in it, in game.
Well, if we showed him running around, wouldn't we be like, "Ah, all they did was show him running?
Yeah.
Right.
Couldn't
so
we
then
have
I'd be,
seen this?
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but then I'd be complaining about that instead. But right now,
Yeah, I was
complaining about
really
the
hoping
fact-
this would give us an idea of how Sonic feels to play. Like, that's one of the things I'm banking on. I
Yeah.
want Sonic to feel like really good and kinetic again. If this is like a modified boost kind of gameplay, I'll probably deal with it, but I really want something a little more loose. Something that lets me kind of just fuck around a bit more. But I don't know if this is going to be the game for me in that regard. Oh, man, I'm anxious about this game. It could be cool, but I still feel like I'm just looking at this going, huh. So what are they thinking?
Yeah.
Like, I have a better idea.
Well,
of
you'll
what they
figure
want.
out
Yeah.
holiday next year. Still a whole nother year to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably November again, like usual.
Yeah. Probably get into the usual
So-
Sonic marketing cycle where it kicks up around May and then they do their usual thing, but
So Eggman has blown up the planet, or transported other planets to this planet, or harnessed time itself twice. Is he going to be able to outdo himself this time? Or is this going to be a step down? Personally, I don't care. I just want it to be cool.
it's interesting, right? Because I'm assuming the thing we see at the end of the trailer is what Eggman has harnessed and is using. And it kind of just seems like a big thing, which I'm sure will be threatening in the game. But if you compare it to everything else he's done, it's like, oh, that sure is a big thing isolated on this island in the middle of nowhere, huh?
Yeah.
With a lot of water around and maybe not an easy way to transport it out. Maybe it has like a power, like if you feed it all the emeralds, it like, I don't know, blows up big.
Blows up!
Whoa! Oh, maybe Prison Island is part of the Star. What is it? Starfire? Starfish?
Starfall.
Starfall.
I think Prison Island is just some smoke on the water these days. I don't think there's much left there after those explosions.
Smoke. I mean, Shadow went back to it. It looked pretty together.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Man, when we were going into this, I thought we'd have a lot to talk about. But as we've sat here and talked about it, man, this trailer seemed like it gave us a lot, but it kind of also didn't.
No, I think more information was given in the articles about like you know what like who's involved, you know, the director, producer, writer, which is, you know, it's good to have a sense of who's behind it, even though you can question like, oh, is that a good?
Mm-hmm.
We have... Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, go on.
Taking your deep breaths, you want to say something?
Oh
about
no,
to say the
I'm
word.
laughing at something unrelated that's happening off screen.
Ah,
It has nothing
Gotcha.
to do with Sonic.
So,
IRL.
the leaks mentioned a ghost girl, but this other tweet says that, oh no, this voice is Amy's voice.
Wait, what is this tweet? I think I missed the tweet. Should link
It's a
it?
Japanese tweet.
Yes. Could I see that tweet
Yeah,
live in?
I posted that upstream. Let me get it again.
Right.
Man, we posted a lot tonight, huh?
Wow. Yeah. Look, there's stuff about the movie. There's Sonic and Tails in clothing.
Yeah, they're in their little snowsuits.
Right.
Here you are.
Here it goes. It says Sonic runs around in a vast world, and a trailer that Amy's voice echoes is released.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So the interesting thing, I should say, it's from Den Feminico Game on Twitter. When you run this
Right.
through the auto translate provided by, I assume, Google.
Twitter.
Yes, it mentions Amy.
So,
You run it through DeepL,
Oh, yeah.
which is usually known to be more reliable. It does not mention Amy at all.
Oh, well, maybe it's not Amy.
Yeah, I mean, because that just seems like this isn't
Unless
an
Amy's
official
dead.
Sega. Well, oh, maybe that's what happened.
Maybe all of his friends are dead and we have to go back in time to save them.
The trailer does mention that Sonic may, or not the trailer, the something somewhere said that Sonic may even need to save himself.
Oh my god. His friends are dead. He has to go back in time.
Oh, so like if Sonic has to save himself, maybe that'll also tie into Sonic Prime. Wait, no, is that what's called? The Netflix show, man, where he learns a lesson, right? What does he do? He learns something in that.
Have you seen it? I don't think we've seen it.
No, we haven't seen it. I'm just trying to remember the description where it's like, oh, Sonic is going through some sort of character arc, we swear.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah, I was just wondering if maybe it all ties together. It doesn't. I know it doesn't. I was just trying to pull things, pull things out of thin air, or my behind, depending on where you want to go with this. But man, okay. Sonic Frontiers is a prettier looking Boom that hopefully plays better than Boom, but isn't Boom, but is Breath of the Wild, but not as wild, but wilder because Sonic is wilder than Link. But that doesn't mean the game is wilder, it just means the character is wilder, but neither of them feature Gene Wilder.
Sonic Wildfire. I can do this too. Does Sonic Breath of the Wild sound fun to you guys? Do you want to run around an open world and do vague things to open up actual Sonic levels to play?
I do if there's stuff to do. I don't want it to just be a big empty nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's stuff, then yeah. Sounds fine.
Yeah, if there's stuff, I guess it's fine. I've always been on the fence when it comes to the idea of a Sonic open world game. You know, because it's like he's really fast, and it's I don't know, like Sonic. I guess it seems like he works better in sort of the you go from point A to point B, and if everything is super big and open, it feels like it might be harder to give Sonic things to do in a big open world game. If they crack the code, that would be cool. I just get worried.
Mm-hmm.
What I've noticed from these fan games is like whenever I see Sonic running around in this empty giant Tony Hawk skater world is like I see them playing and it's like, oh yeah, it looks fun, but what do you do? Where do you go? Mm-hmm. You're calling this a level, but which way do I go to get to the goal? Is there a goal? I don't know. I guess I'd have to skip to the end of the video on YouTube to find out, but
yeah.
If this game, finds a way to solve that problem, then it should be fine. Like maybe there are different wayfinders, or like you see something off in the distance and then like it pans down to Sonic and then you start running like, oh, I know where I'm supposed to go. I know where the goal is.
Mm-hmm.
Like
maybe,
as long as there's a goal.
Yeah, maybe Ghost Girl can give you the waypoint or something. She's like, I think you need to go over here to find the orb to slot into the temple.
Yeah.
And then Sonic's like, yeah, I'll slam dunk that thing in there. Woohoo! Then he gets blown up. Whatever. Sonic Adventure 2. I don't know, man.
What's up? Yeah.
I think, like... I'm not a fan of those open world fan games. Usually, they generally just seem like, oh, we put a bunch of loops and curves and things, and you can probably run on them. Look at us go. And then people are like, man, that man needs hired. But then I look at this, and I'm like, at least those had ways to interact with the environment.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, if this was the Breath of the Wild trailer, I'd be like, oh, look at all these things I could climb. But I don't know if... Is Sonic going to have his parkour back? Should he?
Oh, maybe.
That'd be a way to handle that. Maybe Sonic's
gonna get a rope.
I believe Sonic does have his parkour, at least according to the leaks that we saw already.
There was an image that you posted that looks like Sonic running on the side of the wall.
There is a specific sidetrack thing in one of the panning shots where it looks like lane across a mountainside, but hard to tell what that could mean at this moment.
I could never really get the parkour thing to work in Lost World. I just couldn't ever figure it out, so I just played different parts of the level that didn't require it to beat the game.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping if that comes back, I hope they improved it, or that it doesn't come back, because I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't figure that shit out.
Can't blame you. Can't blame you.
You okay, David?
Yes, I'm just thinking about Frontier. It's like, okay, because we got the movie trailer first. The movie trailer was very exciting, and then they gave us the game trailer, and the game trailer is there. It feels like they played them in the wrong order.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They should have started with the game trailer and then done the movie trailer, because the movie trailer feels fully formed and it's a thing that you want to go see, while the game trailer is, we made a pretty field, and I'm like, I feel like I've seen a lot of pretty fields at Sage over the last 20 years, which I guess is what Eggman is using to fight Sonic this time. So
isn't it ironic that the movie trailer seemed a lot more Sonic-y than the Sonic game trailer?
Oh, that is weird, isn't
Oops.
it? Like,
Oops.
Not
like,
that Sonic can't
yeah,
ever chase a different direction. I don't want anyone to think I'm
I
saying
know.
that, but at the same time,
but man, it would be cool to like have Sonic do things in a Sonic place, you know?
yeah.
Man, like, yeah, okay, because like if you think about Sonic the Hedgehog, okay, you start off the franchise, you know, that it's kind of surreal worlds, but it's also because like I was basing it on 3D graphics at the time, late 80s, early 90s, so it's kind of surreal simply because they can't make things realistic. And then there is this progression where, like, you know, Angel Island in Sonic 3, like that zone is a more realistic green level than Green or Emerald Hill. And Sonic Adventure is like, oh man, we're playing even more with realistic things, and like there's this progression towards realism that kind of strips things away, but it's like they still kind of keep certain Sonic things around. And like if 06 is kind of like Sonic in the real world, and Unleashed is Sonic on Earth, but that's still like cartoony, and then like Sonic Frontiers feels like what if Sonic was in the real world again, but the movie did that, and now the movie said, okay, now let's do fun things. While we've had so many what if Sonic in the real world in Sonic games, like 06 and Unleashed, and you know, like Forces still had some stuff. I know it was just Green Hill and Chemical Plant again, and that neat, you know, the Metropolis City, which I thought was neat, and Sunset Heights or Hills or whatever, that was just the that one level from Unleashed. It's like, if Sega considers everything that people have talked about, it feels like nobody just wants a straight up Sonic in a normal field, except the people who drop a Sonic model in Unreal 4 and go, look, I put Sonic in a field. So it's just weird that they're doubling down on that, because even the people who want Sonic Adventure and like the way Sonic's world looked there, it wasn't just Sonic in real world. Like Speed Highway doesn't look like a real highway. It doesn't look I don't know. I guess I'm just really confused by Frontiers. Like what we've seen so far. If it was, hey, here's some realistic stuff, but then they also showed us a little bit of the cyberspace, and that was wackier, maybe I wouldn't be so hung up on it, because I'd be like, oh, okay, so it's that balance. Because if Sonic's world is meant to be all sorts of things, like there is a realistic human city, but then there's also surreal tropical landscape, and they both can coexist in the same world, it's nice to see that. But like you don't even have the iconography of floating platforms or loops or springs or spikes or anything in the footage we've seen here. And it would have been nice for them to sprinkle in even a little bit of that, or to give us a hint as to what, might be hiding out in these supposed cyber world stages.
I mentioned the CG, or before we recorded it, I mentioned that the CG reminded me a little bit of Sonic and the Black Knight. And like the more I watch it back and forward, I'm like, man, this reminds me of the forest, like the fields and everything from Sonic and the Black Knight also. Like it almost feels like he just went back, but in HD. It's like, oh, I'm here at the medieval world that wasn't made for me and my abilities. But like we have to imagine like there's probably going to be enemies in the overworld, right? Like you'll probably stumble into fights and I don't know, spin around them. Like
there has to be something.
There has to be something. Like it can't literally be empty, despite what they've shown us.
And I guess we haven't talked about. Well, I maybe Stefan mentioned it very briefly. The Shadow of Colossus man at the end.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the giant Pacific Rim Jaeger, as I called it.
Yes. I guess that's weird and surreal. I guess. It's just a big tall man.
What little we can see of it, yeah. If it even is a man.
Right, could be a lady, or it could be neither. I don't know.
If it is, I should have said, if it even is humanoid in shape. I don't know that we have a really clear picture of it. I assume it shoots off the spikes from the start of the trailer. It's probably humanoid in shape, but who built it?
Like
it sounds like that's what Eggman wants, and that was the thing that was here. So it'd be cool if we were like uncovering this lost civilization or something in this game, right? And like we're figuring out how they built this thing and saw the error of their ways and sealed it or something, right? But did it build a giant man robot? Why?
Right. Did they? I mean, was there a robot? Maybe. I mean, like we've seen there was the egg golem in Sonic Adventure 2. Like that was a big stone man that Eggman presumably repurposed somehow. So maybe he tried to do it again. Didn't quite work. Unless it is working. I know the little plot synopsis, it makes us think that it's gone awry, but maybe what we've seen so far, maybe there will be sort of like a kind of, here's Sonic and he's just running around like on his adventure alone. I know it mentions he has to save his friends, but maybe there'll be some silent contemplation. Maybe there'll just be some just some great running, and it won't be non-stop zingers and zaggers. Like it'll just be Sonic, and he'll do a think, and then eventually he'll get to tell the joke. But I don't know what I want from this.
Yeah.
Sonic fans in a nutshell.
The indication really seems to be that this is maybe something I won't really be into when it comes out, which is a shame. But I want to be surprised.
I'm really. If it is what I'm if it is what we're thinking of, I'm actually really excited. Just to again, just the fact that it's something so different, but it looks like it's a cool direction, to take Sonic in to be able to play as. It's just there just isn't we just haven't seen enough to get super excited. It's more so just I think I'll have a lot of fun playing this once I finally do. It's just there's nothing right there to get excited about until we learn more about what exactly is going on in the game.
It's too many unknowns. I need to see the minute to minute of this game. If it's just a hub being a connective tissue to Forces levels, I don't know how much that's really going to do for me, but if we see the levels and they actually look interestingly designed and there's things to do in the hub world, then that could turn it around for me. But my Sonic pessimism sure does have me in a spot right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that pretty much it?
Do we have more to say on Sonic Frontiers?
oh man, I don't.
What is the frontier? Is the island a new frontier?
I think Frontiers is evocative. Oh, look at Sonic in these large environments. Frontiers.
Oh, is he like a frontier man? A frontier hedgehog? Is
He's
he
a rocket man.
He's a.
He's a hog of the woods, one might say.
Why did they change it from Rangers to Frontiers?
That.
Frontiers is a better name. Rangers just like, yeah, it's like Frontiers works much better as just a general term to describe something. Yeah, because when you hear Rangers, you think, oh, like Sonic is. Yeah, you think of like something like Freedom Fighters-esque or like Sonic Resistance of just it's a group of people coming together. But it's like, yeah, Frontiers is just like that can be like, yeah, like not just people, but can be like, yeah, like a place and like places to explore.
Well, maybe there are Frontier Rangers that are on the field that you talk to, perhaps a bear of some sort, where
There was
you
a link
purchase
about that.
things.
I was actually about to
Using
look for
written-
that again. 'Cause yeah, it's a better name, of course, for sure. Made me wonder what the hell the Rangers were for them to go with that title, though, in the first place. But that,
Right.
that
I mean,
leak
like,
did
it
say
was also
the game would release in the spring of 2022 to coincide with the movies. I don't think we can listen to that, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it definitely said holiday 2022, unless Sega considers the release of the Sonic movie a holiday, which is possible.
It's Sonic
But-
Day.
Also, Rangers was a title that was never supposed to actually like be known. So it's like, yeah, Rangers was literally just like a random temp title that they're just Rangers, whatever.
Yeah,
It might not have been random. I mean, there could have been a point to it. There might be something Ranger-like in the game.
yeah, like
That's what
the
has me
Red
wondering.
Ranger.
Because if we go by that script that leaked online, Sonic Forces was Sonic Wars, which maybe not entirely indicative of the final game, but definitely had something to do with things that happened in the game.
That
That
was a war.
That is true. It was off screen for most of it. So maybe there are a bunch of Forest Rangers that are off screen, and that's who's talking to Sonic there. It's not Amy, it's a Forest Ranger. It's a.
Okay.
He has to prevent all the forest fires.
That's right. Oh, that's the bear. I get it now. It all makes sense. Is it anime?
Yeah.
Is it like an anime game? Is that what it is? Is this what we're seeing? It's just an anime game that has Sonic.
Anime.
Is this
You mean like
Genshin,
Genshin
Impact, but
Impact?
with Sonic?
Yeah.
David timidly
Yeah.
asks.
Genshin Impact, which is a game I've never played. But
I mean, if there was a Sonic Genshin Impact where like there was the other characters involved as well, it's like, yeah, I'd probably be fine with that. Just give me all the characters I can play as and make it kind of like an open world, like the beat 'em up esque thing.
I mean, it shouldn't just be Sonic in generic fantasy or realistic fantasy or in anime. Sonic is Sonic. His world is a mixture of all sorts of different genres. That's what makes it special. So if it is just, hey, it's super normal, it just doesn't. I don't know.
I'll ask a question to make us ponder as we reach the end of this year.
Yes.
Sonic games are
Yes,
usually
yes.
budget priced. This one has taken a long time to make and will have huge, expansive worlds that probably took time to detail and create. Are we prepared
Yeah.
for potentially the first $60 Sonic game in quite a while and for it to not be that great? What if that happens? It's one thing to pay
Well-
$40 for a Sonic Forces. There'd be another thing to pay $60 for a Sonic Forces.
I mean, our game's gonna be 70 now.
They are, but this one's going to be on last gen and Switch. So usually those games will be priced at the old
True.
price thing. But man, what if this was $70? Oh man.
Yeah, no, yeah. If it was a PS5 and Series X exclusive, it probably would have been like $70 US dollars. But
Right.
It's like, yeah, because I know, because usually games that come out on both PS4 and PS5, they share the same. Unless there's like huge differences, then they share the same $60 price tag. So yeah, I imagine it's going to be that.
And they'll probably have a 4-day early version. It'll cost $20 more.
So what
Digital, get ready for the digital deluxe.
was Unleashed the last full price Sonic game? I feel like Generations was that
No,
50?
Generation was the budget. I remember that.
Right.
If we discount
so
the
Gener-
3DS games for always being 40.
Right. And then 'cause Sonic Colors was
That was a budget.
that was yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Unleashed was the last full-priced Sonic game that was out. That was full price as all the other games, because everything else that was released on the console was cheaper than what the quote-unquote regular price was.
I mean, if it is full
Wait.
price and they threw more money at it and it doesn't do well, that means we won't get another game like this for like 15 years.
But you'll log on to Twitter in 2038, and people will be posting 4 screenshots from this game, being like, "This is the last Sonic game that actually looked good. Like and retweet."
Yeah. And then in 2039, they'll announce Sonic Adventure 3.
Oh God.
We'll be getting Mania 2 soon. Don't worry.
That's happening.
Drink the copium.
Well, maybe by 2039 we'll get Mania 2.
Copium.
The
Yeah,
copium.
we get-
Just
we-
sucking down all the copium.
Right,
for
well,
Mania
We're trying to
2.
have some hopium, but we might wind up with the dreaded
Oh,
Right.
copium.
Well,
Some
because we'll
hopium.
get the 7 Sonic feature films, and then Sega will go, oh,
Here's the Sonic
okay, let's
Mania
make a
movie.
good game this time.
Oh. I hope that in a year
Uh-huh.
we can look
Right.
back on this video and be like, man, we should have just
Right.
been a little more optimistic. We were rightfully pessimistic. But
Right.
if only we'd been
And then
more
in
optimistic.
2040, we'll get the Larasu Chronicles.
The video game?
No,
No,
just
the first
chapter.
volume.
Oh god.
All right.
Well, the Sonic movie.
Right,
looks
we should all
cool.
be hopeful.
Yeah.
To
I-
end this off, I want to say, because Mexi wasn't able to be here and he wanted us to say,
Oh yes.
Neo The World Ends With You not getting nominated is bullshit.
I can't believe
So there
they
you go,
didn't
Mexi.
nominate that one. Definitely played that game.
Is Sonic in that?
Sure.
Shibuya from Persona 5 is in it, so it kind of counts.
So there's a tenuous connection there if you really want there to be one.
Oh,
Because Sonic has also been to Shibuya Persona 5 before.
Shibuya Terminal. That's in Jet Set Radio.
Atlas, Sega, sure. Sonic, why not?
Man, and then they showed the Sonic Origins tray. Wait, no, they didn't.
You imagine that.
Check in for the next video on our reactions to the Sonic Origins trailer.
Oh man.
I mean, it is funny that we've gotten more. We've gotten more information about Frontiers, and we still haven't actually seen anything from Origins. Not
Suka
even a
did
year
say-
ago.
He did say
I mean,
we'd
if
see
it-
more
it-
before the end of the year. So. Or we'd
I
hear
mean,
more.
if anything, 2022 looks like it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be the packed year for Sonic that 2021 probably was going to be if the pandemic didn't happen and pushed all of everything back, because we got the second movie, Frontiers, the Origins Collection, Sonic Prime, the IDW comic is going to get to issue 50 and still keep going. So it's like it's probably going to be probably a couple more things that we don't know about. So it's like, yeah, 2022 is going to be a big year for Sonics after a quiet 2020 and 2021.
There will definitely be a lot happening. That's for damn sure.
Well, guys, I'm in my 30s and it's 2 a.m.
We don't have anything more to say. We should cut this.
I'm tired.
Sonic Frontiers, maybe it'll be good. We'll probably be talking more about it as more comes out. So, hopefully,
Content.
it at least remains interesting, if not great.
Steven, you're 22 right now. Why are you lying?
Right now,
I'm 24.
You're right now 22.
Oh, right.
You're-
Ah!
it's too late, David. I'm forklift certified, and I'm running this conversation to the end of the track.
And
My hair's back!
Hey, thanks for joining, everybody. See you next time again.
And